Hi guys, Matt here, Rideshare PA. As you can tell, I'm not in my car. I got home. I'm actually headed to bed soon. Um, so I went to Philly this weekend. Got down Thursday. Did pretty good Thursday, and did really good Friday morning. I drove for 6 or 7 hours Friday morning, um, and I did really good Friday morning. I started to feel sick around 11 o'clock, so I went back to my hotel and took a nap, and I actually was like on and off all day long. I just felt crappy. So this is the first time I actually, when I went to Philly, that I did something that I normally don't do, and I just relaxed a little bit. Um, so my total this weekend wasn't as much as I wanted it to be. I ended up before everything was said and done, I cleared $500 for the entire weekend. After my hotel, um, took that down, took 150 off of that. Okay, so I cleared $350 this weekend between Uber and Lyft. Now the reason for that is I was out sick pretty much half of Friday. I literally didn't drive for 9 hours Friday. From noon till about 9 p.m. I was in my hotel, um, sick, and I actually pulled myself out of the bed to drive from 9 p.m. to about 2 a.m. Friday night. I technically probably shouldn't have been driving, but I needed to do it. Um, I went back out Saturday morning and then again Saturday night and almost all day Saturday afternoon. But what the thing I did Saturday was usually when I go down there, I just stay in my car and drive all day. And when I take breaks, I still take them in my car. This time I decided to actually enjoy myself a little bit um, in the morning. What's up, buddy? In the morning, Saturday, I drove around, but I actually enjoyed some stuff. I stopped at a couple different tourist sites, hopped out of my car quick and took pictures. Um, in the afternoon, I dropped somebody off near a noodle restaurant, and I was actually craving ramen noodles. So I decided to find the closest parking spot, and I parked my car, and I actually spent about 45 minutes inside a noodle place just eating, relaxing, and enjoying myself for a change. Um, After that, I just drove around and um, did my job. And then around 8 or 9 o'clock, I got back to my hotel and I just decided to relax Saturday night instead of continue to drive. My legs started to hurt, so I woke up pretty early Sunday morning, this morning, at around 4:30, 5 o'clock. But I didn't go out driving until almost 6. And I drove from about 6 a.m. to about 10 a.m. this morning, and I made almost another $100 this morning. So this weekend wasn't my greatest weekend in Philly. I'll say that right now. With that being said, it was also really cold. It is winter, so there's not as many people out as there usually is in the summertime. In the summer, I can go down there. I like to try and get the easiest way for me to explain this is when I go down there in the summertime, if a hotel costs me $250, I'm trying to make around 1,000. I try to do 3 quarters over what I make. So if I spend 250, I like to make 750 in profit. 250 for the hotel. That's 1,000. Okay. Um, this weekend I went down. I spent 150 on the hotel, and with that being said, I did a little more than 2/3 of what I spent for the hotel. So I made 500. It cost me 150 for the hotel. That's probably about 70% profit, if that makes sense, guys. With that being said, I'm not counting in gas or any of that stuff because I get that taken off. Um, I want to say probably about $40, but I don't really count my gas, Hogan, because at the end of the year I get that back in a tax write off. Okay, I get 54 cents a mile per whatever the capita is, 54 cents basically for gas and and maintenance and all that stuff in your car. That's how that works. So, but yeah, I spent about, I didn't count, so I don't count when I drive down there. What I'll do is I'll fill up my car here before I go down. I filled it up Thursday before I went down there. Okay, and I do not fill my car up until either I come by some place that's like really cheap, or my tank is like a quarter of a tank or empty. Okay, or close to empty, because I always try and find somewhere that I can get gas super cheap. Most places in Philly were like 259, 260, 279 a gallon. Um, so Friday I was driving around. I had about 3/8 of a tank to maybe a quarter of a tank, and I came across a place that was $2.37 a gallon, and I couldn't pass it up, so I filled it up. Mohammed, to your question, yes, I am. Um, so when I did that, I decided to get gas there because it's cheap, and then I also used my Go Bank card, and I get money back on my gas also through that. So that's another way I save money. But yeah, roughly, I want to say, I'm trying to remember, to be honest. I think I spent 30 $32 on Friday, and then I filled up again today, and I think it was like 15 or 20. So altogether, it was probably about $50 in gas. But that being said, not all of that was Uber and Lyft. So that's how that works. But so yeah, that's why I'm just averaging it between 35 and 50. Um, I want to try and go down there as much as I can. The only problem with going down there like every other weekend is after a while it gets to be boring, and I don't want it to become monotonous. That's part of the problem with where I live. I get to the point where gets to be monotonous and boring, and with that being said, then I just don't want to do it anymore. So I'll probably try and go down to Philly like once a month, um, if I can, because the money is more. Once the summertime hits, it'll even be better. But at the same time, like I said, I don't want it to be monotonous. I want to be able to go down there and enjoy myself. I might try and go down with some friends. Maybe go drive in the mornings, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings, and then in the afternoon or late evening, maybe enjoy myself a little bit and try to not spend as much money on, or try not to make as much money as I used to, but still be able to enjoy myself and get the best of both worlds. It's the one good thing about Philly. There's plenty of things to do around there. There's plenty of places to eat. Um, I took some people to the Pennsylvania car show that's still in the convention center. I think it's there for like 2 weeks. I actually drove a couple people through Chinatown. I actually took some pictures of Chinatown because I asked my passenger. I said, "Do you mind if I take a picture of this quick?" And they said no. So no, my car's working. My car is working fine, Mohammed. Yeah, my car is working perfectly fine. No. The funny thing is I'm probably never gonna do Uber Eats again. My rating went really low because of a couple issues I had at home. Um, the last time I did Uber Eats here, there was 2 times I went to go to places and they were either closed or not open, or they had issues with orders. And this is why I would recommend, if you ever do Uber Eats, don't do what I did. I canceled the order, not realizing that it would affect my rate because it asks you why you're canceling, and I told them, and it still affected my rating. You need to actually call Uber and get them to put the order. You have to go through Uber support, and then they'll cancel the order out and they'll put the reason why, and it won't affect your cancellation rating. But mine did. And the funny thing was, when I was down there, at one point my Uber app reset all my settings, and I actually got a delivery for somewhere. I forget what it was, and I decided to cancel. I canceled it. I'm like, I'm not doing delivery services in Philly. Screw that. That's one place I definitely will not do any food deliveries whatsoever. It's such a jumbled mess trying to just pick up a passenger somewhere. I couldn't imagine trying to deliver food to somebody in Philly. It's insane, especially late at night. I'm not doing it. So, anybody have any more questions about Philly at all? Um, One thing I did talk to, and the funny thing is, one thing I would highly recommend um, moving forward, or if you're new to Uber and Lyft, is go on Facebook, find a group, like an Uber or Lyft group for your city or your area. Um, I posted in the Uber and Lyft group for Philadelphia, one of the groups I belong to. Um, a couple different places I found to be able to use the restroom certain times of days, and then a lot of other people started flooding the comment section with other places that they've used. One thing that you will realize, especially in bigger cities, depending on where you're at, there's lots of issues trying to find places to use the bathroom or places to go in a hurry if you need to. Philadelphia, unfortunately, is a pain in the butt trying to go to certain places. A lot of the gas stations have their bathrooms closed because of homeless people and our drugs. Um, I would say no. I didn't really. I mean, I got tips from a couple of people. I did not get any cash tips at all, zero. Um, but I haven't really gone through to look and see. I know I did get some tips. I just didn't add them up to see exactly how much they were. Um, I was surprised actually out of Uber and Lyft. Okay, Uber I made $280. Lyft I made $220. So it is definitely more like a 60-40 split now compared to what I used to do. It used to be about a 75 to 25 Uber versus Lyft down there. Now it's more like a 60-40. But either way, I'm still going to keep an eye on that to see. I do like to kind of see which one does better. Um, Lyft, surprisingly for me, um, I would say Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings. Lyft was really popular, and then Friday night and Saturday night, and even Saturday during the day, Uber was more popular. So it all depends on your time frame of the day and also your market. Like I've said before, guys, just try and keep an idea or try and keep a mental note of your market, of who's using it as far as age wise and things like that, and where they're at, certain bars and things like that. So that way, when you go out the following weekend, okay, well, I know at this time these certain bars, more people are going to come out and blah 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 and things like that. Because in my hometown, when I go out, I do the same thing. I know at certain times of the day, like on a Friday night, I know that a lot of the college kids usually leave to go to the bar between 7 and 8 p.m. and they get there early. Okay, and I also know between the hours of like I'd say 9:30 to 11 and even up till 11:30 sometimes the older people like 40 to 55 leave the bar. So I'll be driving people in between the hours of 7 to 10, driving people home between the hours of like 10 and 1, the older crowd at least, and then between the hours of like 1 and 3, you're going to be driving those younger kids back home again. So it's just honestly getting to know your market, learning what your market is over time, and then building onto that. Philly, I love Philly. It's amazing. It's always busy. It's definitely a hard market to learn because something that works one week might not work the next. But I can definitely say you will find areas to sit and wait that will be busier than others. One for me is the train station. I do not sit at the airport. It's pointless to sit at the airport. Um, I found two or three really good hotels that are close to basically like main areas or main strips that literally take you right into Philly and right back out. Plus, at the same time, when I get in my car and I start driving towards the city, I'll usually pick up rides along the way, which always helps. So, but all right, guys, I hope everyone has a great Sunday. I hope everyone had a good weekend. I know I did, even though I was sick on Friday. It felt good to actually go down to Philly and not just drive all day long, but actually, if I saw, no, I do not play Minecraft. I don't play video games as often as I used to. Um, so it felt good to go down there and work, but at the same time, it felt good to just be able to look at the sights and see things. I drove past Pat's and Gino's this morning, and I was gonna stop and get a cheesesteak, but my stomach just wasn't agreeing with me. I took a picture. I'm gonna post it up on the community page. Um, but yeah, it wasn't agreeing with me this morning. So yes, my passengers love that game in Philly. Um, my passengers, any passenger that I have, my kids play the game all the time, but almost every single passenger that got in my car, if they didn't know what it was already, they asked about it and they played it. I should actually probably check it to see if I can cash out or not because I know yesterday when I checked it, I had like 20 or 30 points to go until I could cash out. So I can probably cash out on that. Thank you for reminding me. Um, yeah, like I said, when I go to Philly, I have my chargers. I have my chargers. I have my tablet. I have water bottles, even though I didn't get any this time. But um, yeah, I did pretty good this weekend. So I hope everybody has a good weekend, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Take care and stay safe, everybody.